There's no doubt about the fact that the future is digital, and one sector in India that is riding this digital theme is the IT sector. IT sector has been one of the biggest wealth creator in India for the last 30-40 years. Companies like Mphasis, Wipro, TCS, HCL have generated humongous wealth for their investors. On top of that, these IT companies also give decent dividends. And now that after COVID, every business has realized the importance of digital transformation, there's a bright growth prospect for these IT companies in the future. But only problem is that TCS, Mphasis, HCL and Wipro are already large giants. They will continue to be consistent compounders, but they can't generate multi-bagger returns. And that's where you have an option to explore the mid-cap IT companies that can become the large cap in the future and rewards the investor handsomely. Hello friends, my name is Sahil and this is my Personal Finance Academy where I explain everything about money management in layman's language. Finally, after a long break, I have restarted my stock comparison series, and in this video, I will compare the top IT companies in the mid-cap category. I will compare Mindtree, Mphasis, Persistent System and Coforge. The reason for comparison is simple. Majority of IT companies are doing great job. They are also generating great returns for their investors. But obviously, you can't invest in all these companies. So it gets very confusing in terms of which IT company to select for investment. And that's where I will help you with financial comparison to shortlist the right stock. By the way, I've already done the analysis of IT companies in the large cap category. So if you haven't watched that video, then you can explore it. Please note that I have not included Tata Elxsi and L&T Technology Services in this mid-cap comparison as they are pure play software and research company unlike your traditional IT companies. We'll start by understanding the key growth drivers in the IT industry. Then we will compare all four companies based on the financial parameters like market cap, 5-year stock return, revenue size, 5-year revenue growth, profit size, 5-year profit growth, operating margin, return on equity, return on capital employed and debt to equity. Then we'll look at the promoter shareholding in each company. Then we'll do the valuation analysis to understand which company is overvalued, undervalued or fairly valued. Finally, we would conclude the best company among all these four companies. But before we begin, this video is only for educational purpose. And if you want to learn how to pick quality stock, then you can explore my complete course on money management on my website. I also have some investment related services. Alright, let's get started. If you look at the key growth drivers for IT sector, first driver is cost advantage. The biggest advantage for Indian IT sector over other countries is cost. India is almost 5 to 6 times less expensive as compared to the US. This has been the biggest growth driver for India and would continue to drive the growth. Second growth driver is leadership in the sector. Over the past 30-40 years, India has created a strong dominance in the global IT sector with a successful track record. Today, Indian IT sector has the right kind of experienced leadership to handle multi-billion-dollar projects and implement them successfully. Third growth driver is growing demand for technology solutions. Initially, technology was adopted by large companies, but today, every business is implementing technology in one form or another. In fact, technology revolution in India has just started. Your payments are done with UPI technology, shopping is done online on e-commerce platform, education and entertainment is done via platforms like YouTube, Netflix, etc. Then cars are going electric and autonomous, and now you can operate your fridge, light, TV, etc. with your mobile phone. In fact, everything is going digital, and this would create huge demand for the IT sector in India. And the fourth growth driver is equipped with skilled workforce. Over the past 30-40 years, India has developed a huge skill set in the IT sector. So Indian IT sector has got all the required skill set to cater to this ever-growing demand for IT technology that would drive the growth in the future. If you look at the market cap, Mindtree has a market cap of rupees 62,000 crore. Mphasis has a market cap of rupees 55,000 crore. Persistent System has a market cap of rupees 26,000 crore and Coforge has a market cap of around 31,700 crore. So in terms of market cap, Mindtree is at number 1 position, followed with Mphasis at 2nd position, Coforge at 3rd position and Persistent System at number 4 position. Now if you're wondering why I have kept Mindtree and Mphasis in mid-cap category, then I have followed the Nifty index classification where all these 4 companies are part of Nifty Midcap 150 category. If you look at the stock return in 5 years, Mindtree shares have given more than 600% return. Mphasis shares have given 468% return. Persistent System shares have given around 473% return. Coforge had its IPO in August 20 and within 1 year, the share has zoomed around 165%. So in terms of stock return in last 5 years, Mindtree is at number 1. Second position is a tie between Persistent System and Mphasis. We can't compare Coforge as it has not completed 5 years. If you look at the revenue, Mindtree revenues have grown from Rs 4,673 crore in FY16 to Rs 7,968 crore by FY21. Mphasis revenue have grown from 6,081 crore in 16 to 9,722 crore by FY21. Persistent revenue have grown from 2,312 crore in FY16 to 4,188 crore by FY21. Coforge revenue have grown from 2,688 crore in FY16 to Rs 4,663 crore. So in terms of absolute revenue size, Mphasis is number 1, followed with Mindtree at 2nd position, then Coforge at 3rd position and Persistent System at number 4th position. If you look at the CAGR growth in revenue in last 5 years, Mindtree revenues have grown at a CAGR of 11.2%. Mphasis revenues have grown at a CAGR of 9.84%. Persistent System revenues have grown at a CAGR of 12.6%. Coforge revenues have grown at a CAGR of 11.65%. So Persistent System is leading the revenue growth at number 1 position. It is followed with Coforge at 2nd position, then Mindtree at 3rd position and Mphasis at 4th position. If you look at the profit size, Mindtree profits have grown from Rs 552 crore in FY16 to Rs 1110 crore by FY21. Mphasis profits have grown from Rs 632 crore to currently at Rs 1217 crore. Persistent System profits have grown from Rs 277 crore to currently at Rs 451 crore. Coforge profits have grown from Rs 270 crore to currently Rs 456 crore. So in terms of profit size, Mphasis is number 1, followed with Mindtree at number 2 position, then Coforge is at 3rd position and Persistent System is at 4th position. Although Coforge and Persistent System are almost at par. If you look at the CAGR growth in profit in last 5 years, Mindtree profits have grown at a CAGR of 15%. Mphasis profits have grown at a CAGR of 14%. Persistent System profits have grown at a CAGR of 10.24% and Coforge profits have grown at a CAGR of 11%. Hence, Mindtree is leading the profit growth at number 1 position. It is followed with Mphasis at number 2 position, then Coforge at number 3 position and Persistent System at number 4 position. If you look at the operating margin for FY21, Mindtree has the highest operating margins of 21%. Mphasis has 19% operating margin, Persistent System operating margin stood at 16% and Coforge operating margins are at 17%. Overall in terms of operating margin, Mindtree is at number 1 position. It is followed with Mphasis at number 2 position, Coforge at 3rd position and Persistent System at number 4th position. If you look at the return on equity, Mindtree is leading with consistently high ROE. Its latest ROE is 25.7%. Mphasis has ROE of 18.65%. Coforge also has a similar ROE of 18.48%. So that's almost a tie for 2nd position. It is followed with Persistent System with an ROE of 16.14%. So in terms of ROE, Mindtree is at number 1 position. Mphasis and Coforge are at number 2 position and Persistent System is at number 4 position. If you look at the return on capital employed, Mindtree is again leading with consistently high ROCE. Its latest ROCE is 37.87%. It is followed with Mphasis with latest ROCE of 21.98%. Then Persistent has an ROCE of 21.26% and Coforge has an ROCE of 19.04%. So in terms of ROCE, Mindtree is again at number 1 position. Mphasis is at number 2 position, Persistent System is at number 3 position and Coforge is at number 4th position. Although all 4 companies are doing good in terms of profitability. If you look at the debt to equity, Mindtree latest debt to equity is 0.12. Mphasis latest debt to equity is 0.18. Persistent System latest debt to equity is 0.04 and Coforge latest debt to equity is 0. So all 4 companies are comfortably placed in terms of debt to equity structure. If you look at the promoter shareholding, Mindtree promoters have 61.02% share in the company. Mphasis promoters have 55.99% share in the company. Persistence promoters have 31.26% share in the company and Coforge promoters have 55.73% share in the company. So Mindtree is again number 1 position with highest shareholding. It is followed with Mphasis and Coforge at number 2 position and Persistent System at number 4 position. Now let's look at the valuation part. Mindtree is currently trading at rupees 3,800 at a P ratio of 50. Mphasis is trading at rupees 3,000 at a PE of 44. Persistent System is trading at rupees 3,500 at a PE of 51 and Coforge is trading at 5,200 at a PE of 63. So from valuation point of view, all the companies are trading at higher valuation on account of good earning expectation in the near future. However, among the 4 companies, Mphasis has the lowest valuation and it is at number 1 position. It is followed with Mindtree at number 2 position, then Persistent System at number 3 and Coforge at number 4 position. Now let's quickly summarize our findings. In terms of market cap, Mindtree is at number 1 position, followed with Mphasis at number 2 position, Coforge at 3rd position and Persistent System at 4th position. In terms of stock return in last 5 years, Mindtree is at number 1, followed with Persistent and Mphasis at number 2. We can't compare Coforge as it has not completed 5 years. In terms of absolute revenue size, Mphasis is at number 1 position, followed with Mindtree at number 2, then Coforge at 3rd position and Persistent System at 4th position. In terms of 5-year CAGR growth in revenue, Persistent System is at number 1, followed with Coforge at number 2, then Mindtree at number 3 and Mphasis at number 4th position. In terms of profit size, Mphasis at number 1, followed with Mindtree at number 2, then Coforge at number 3 position and Persistent System at number 4th position. Although Coforge and Persistent System are almost at par. In terms of 5-year CAGR profit growth, Mindtree is leading at number 1 position, followed with Mphasis at number 2, then Coforge at number 3 and Persistent System at number 4th position. In terms of operating margin, Mindtree is number 1, followed with Mphasis at number 2, Coforge at number 3 and Persistent System at number 4th position. In terms of return on equity, Mindtree is at number 1 position, Mphasis and Coforge are at number 2 position and Persistent System is at number 4th position. In terms of return on capital employed, Mindtree is at number 1 position, Mphasis is at number 2, Persistent at number 3 and Coforge at number 4th position. In terms of promoter shareholding, Mindtree is at number 1 position, followed with Mphasis and Coforge at number 2 and Persistent System at number 4th position. Finally, in terms of valuation, Mphasis has the lowest valuation and it is at number 1 position. It is followed with Mindtree at number 2 position. Then Persistent System is at number 3 and Coforge at number 4th position. Overall, if we conclude, all 4 companies are fundamentally strong with solid financials. There is a bright growth prospect for each company on account of high demand for IT companies. However, if you ask me to pick one stock, my first pick would be Mindtree. If you have seen my portfolio in weekly video, you would know that I already own Mindtree. The reason being that Mindtree is a leader in CAGR profit growth as well as leader in profitability among all these 4 mid-cap companies. Also, from valuation point of view, Mindtree is looking decent at number 2 position. But again, all 4 companies are looking good. So which is your pick among all these 4 companies? Let me know in the comments. Also let me know which companies you want me to compare in the future. By the way, my website link is in the description box. There is also a free live stock tracker on my website that include my hand-picked 150 plus stocks for investment and tracking purpose. I hope you will find this video useful. I will see you with another video. Till then, take care.